Guys, what's going on? Today I have this awesome deck profile I want to share with you guys. This is the DogMatika Legion deck profile, and this deck focuses on pretty much fusion summoning. It focuses more on fusion summoning and field control. You're also going to manipulate your opponent's extra deck by sending to the graveyard key cards from their extra deck so you can eventually win the duel. We're gonna begin real quick with the deck profile, and then I'm gonna show you some gameplays of how to run the Dogmatikas. Alright, so let's begin quick, and we're gonna start with the staples. We're gonna be running one Cyphering Driver. He is your normal monster in the deck, and one of the boss monsters as well. You will be using this guy for a quick synchros into level 8. We're gonna be running 2 Draw and Lockbird. We're gonna be running 2 Maxis. We're running again the Cyphering package. So you're gonna be using Cyphering Gear Gamma along with Cyphering Driver, so you can negate your opponent's monsters, special summon the driver, and go into a synchro for level 8s. We're gonna be running 2 Ash Blossom. We're running here the Destiny Hero package for support. So we're running the Destiny Hero Destroyer package to help support the Dogmatika. So we're running here 1 Denier. I'm also running the Alistair package for support as well. So we're gonna be running the Invoke fusion monsters with the help of Alistair, so you can push through the turns and win the duel. And now with the main engine, we're talking about the Dogmatika main engine. So we're gonna be running 3 copies of Assercia. We running 2 Malicious in the Destiny Hero package. We're gonna be running a 3rd engine here, a 2nd engine here. This is the Bestial package with Lubellion. So we're gonna be running 3 Lubellions, so you can use the Bestial package engine to keep pushing through and win the duels as well. So we're gonna be running 1 Magna Hunt. We're gonna be running 1 Cyrano, 1 Droizron. From the Castiras, we're gonna be running 1 Fenrir. In the Dogmatika engine, we're gonna be running 2 Dogmatika Flodolis. She's one of the bosses of the deck, and she has the ability of negating a monster's effect by being special summoned, and it's a quick effect, which is pretty cool. And we have the boss of the deck. This is Dogmatika Maximus. We're gonna be running 2 copies of this guy. He has the ability of sending cards from your opponent's extra deck to the graveyard, and you can also use his effect to send cards like Entity and Ash Dragon, so you can search and also blow a card on the field. And finally, we have 3 copies of the Bestial Lubellion. So in the Bestial engine package here, we're gonna be running these 3 copies of this guy. This guy is a must. You always want to open up with one of these guys, so you can eventually get Branded Regain on the field, and also Branded Beast on the field as well. So you also search the other bestials, so you can interrupt your opponent if they running light and dark monsters in their deck. And Lubellion is one of the boss monsters here as well. So we have 3 main boss monsters in the main deck, and that's Flandelis, Maximus, and Lubellion. And finally, for the hand traps, we're gonna be running 1 Nibiru, the primal being. This card will tribute all monsters if your opponent passes 5 summons, and you can activate this card's quick effect to tribute all of them and clear the board. There is a final form of the Dogmatika Maximus, and it comes in the form of a ritual monster, and this is Dogmatika Albazoa. So what this card is this is the final form of the main boss monster, Maximus. Here he becomes a monster, pretty much. He is corrupted by darkness, and he becomes this monstrosity that you see here. And this card is pretty cool. It has some crazy effect. It states that during your main phase, you can make your opponent choose and apply one of these effects. For every 2 cards in the extra deck, send 1 card from your hand or extra deck to the graveyard. Return of Fusion Synchro, Exist, and Link you control to the extra deck. So you're gonna be forcing your opponent to discard cards from their extra deck, so you can pretty much win the duel. And they're gonna be forced to do it if you activate the Albazoa's effect. And he is one of the bosses in this deck. He's a little bit hard to pull out, but when you pull this guy, is incredible. You can say you pretty much won the duel. Most decks needs their extra deck, and if you get rid of all the cards in your opponent's extra deck, you should be able to pretty much win the duel. In some of the gameplays that I want to show you guys, I wasn't able to pull him up, summon him, but if you do, you guys are going to enjoy playing with this calamity that you see here. Okay, so let's continue with the invocation engine. So this is invocation, the spell. This spell will help you fusion summon with Alistair, so you can go for Makaba and other fusion like Purgatrio. We're gonna be using the Fusion Destiny, the spell, to fusion for Destroyer. We're gonna be running 2 Nadeo Servant for the spell card. This card will help you search the Dogmatikas, and you'll also be able to send an extra deck monster such as Ash Dragon and Entity, so you can blow up a card on the field, or if you want to go search at the end of the turn, you can use the Ash Dragon. We're gonna be running 2 Ultimate Slayer. So what this card does is your opponent cannot activate monster's effect in response to this card's activation. Send 1 monster from the extra deck to the graveyard, then target 1 monster your opponent controls with the same card type: Fusion, Synchro, Exist, Pendulum, or Link. Shuffle it into the deck. So let's say your opponent has a Baron de Fleur on the field. You can use this card, and this card stops Baron's effect from being activated, and you can get rid of Baron de Fleur using this card. And as you can see, we're running Synchro here, and an XC is here in the form of number 23, so you can get rid of XCs as well. And you got the fusions and the links as well here. So you're pretty much covered with this card. We're gonna be running 2 Magical Meltdown. This is the card that will help you search for Alistair. Once you search Alistair, you will be able to add the invocation, and then you can go for the fusions. We're gonna be running 1 Dogmatic Calamity. So what this card is a ritual spell card. You're gonna be using this ritual spell card so you can ritual summon for Dogmatika Arbazoa. So as the final form of Maximus, you will be able to use the Dogmatic Calamity, so you can tribute cards like Lubellian, even Maximus, or Fleur-de-Lis, to eventually go for Arbazoa and pretty much win the duel. So this is the final form of Dogmatika Maximus, the main boss of the deck, and this is his final form, and he will become like the ultimate boss on the field. And then we have 1 Branded Regain. With this card, you'll be able to special summon your Bestials in the Bestial package engine, and you will also recycle your lights and dark monsters back into the deck so you can continue using them. We're gonna be running 1 Dogmatika Matrix. So Dogmatika Matrix adds you Dogmatic Calamity, the ritual spell, to the hand, and you're gonna be using this ritual spell to special summon the final form of Maximus Arbazoa. And if your opponent controls a monster on the field, you can activate the other effect. So let's say you need both Arbazoa and Calamity. You can add both of them if your opponent has a monster on the field. So let's continue with the trap card here. We're gonna be running 2 Infinite Impermanence for support, and we're gonna be running 1 Dogmatika Punishment. So what this card does is target 1 face-up monster on the field, and with a higher attack or equal from your extra deck monsters. So you can send either Entity or Ash, and you can go for search and destroy that monster, and with Entity you'll be able to blow up another card on the field. And we're gonna be running 1 Branded Beast. This is one of the cards that comes in the Bestial package engine, so you'll be able to blow your own Bestial, so you can blow another card on your opponent's side of the field, which is pretty cool. And Branded Beast also has an effect that if you have a branded card in the graveyard, let's say such as Branded Regain, you can place Branded Regain from the graveyard into your field. Let's move on with the extra deck now. So we have 2 Entity. So the Entity does, when you send her to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target 1 card on the field and blow it. We're gonna be running 1 Invoke Purgatroil. So this is the zombie fusion of Alistair and a fire monster. So you can fusion summon with Salamangreat Amarach into Purgatroil. We're gonna be running 2 Ash Dragon. So when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add either one fallen or Albas from your deck to your hand, or a Dogmatika monster from your deck to your hand. You're gonna be using this card to be sent to the graveyard, so you can add your Dogmatika cards to the hand. In the hero package, Destiny hero package, 1 Phoenix Enforcer. in the Alistair Invoke Engine package, we're gonna be running the Makaba. We're gonna be running 2 copies. For synchros, we're gonna be running 1 Hot Red Dragon. This card is an offensive card. You summon this guy, you can destroy all other face-up attack position monsters on the field. But remember, it has a drawback that other monsters cannot attack. The turn you activate this effect, you can attack with Hot Red Dragon, but you won't be able to attack with your other monsters. This is just to get rid of powerful monsters on the field that might have higher attacks than yours, and if they have no defense ability, you should be able to get rid of them. We're gonna be running 1 Chaos Angel. With you will be able to summon this guy, a Chaos Angel, with Malicious and Excelsior. They both lights and dark to have immunity for immunity on monsters and being immune from battle. We're gonna be running 1 number 23. So we are running level 8 monsters here, such as Maximus and Lubellion, also Flodoris. She's a level 8, and you can go number 23 for extra defense and offense as well. We're gonna be running 1 Secure Guard. Now this card, you will be able to use him as a fusion material for Makaba and Pugatrio. Makaba has the ability of he's pretty much an Omni Negate. So you fusion summon this guy, you will be immune into spells, traps, monsters effect. Invoke Makaba is the Omni Negate of the Exo deck. We're gonna be running 1 Predator Plan. So with Predator Plan, you will be able to send the Fusion Destiny, so you can go for Destiny Hero Destroyer. And finally, we're gonna be running 1 Blackluster Soldier for extra defense and offense. Alright guys, so this is the DogMatika deck profile. Let's move on into the gameplay. Alright guys, so I have 4 gameplays for you. There are 2 gameplays here that are pretty quick, and let's begin by showing you the deck. No, I don't want to show you this one yet. This is the most interesting one. So let's check on let's check on this one first. So I was playing against a Traptrix, and if you guys recognize the deck, go ahead and copy it. Our opponent is using the Bestial package as well, but no Lubellion. He's just running Magnamon and Dry Swarm. It looks pretty powerful. That's good. That's good. All right, guys, let's move on into the gameplay. I believe I win really quick, and I believe I go second too, if I can recall well. Yeah, I go second. So my opponent was set up, and I drew Dogmatika Maximus, Invoker, the Alistair, and Denier. So I maxis here. He's gonna go ahead and summon the Traptrix, Hoto. I activate Magmon. I activate Gamma to negate and blow the Link, Sarah. He uses the talent to get rid of the Invoker in my hand, to get rid of Alistair, and I happen to draw Magical Meltdown. And our opponent gives up. Okay. Alright guys, let's move on into the second one, and let me check. And I believe this one goes quick too. Let's play again. I played against this Sorcerer deck, and it looks pretty cool and powerful too. I see he's running a bunch of cards. This deck looks way different from the one I have. He's using the boss monster of the Sorcerer. Excuse me. He's using the Abyss Dragon. I don't run this guy because he's a little bit hard to summon, and he's not that powerful. You can banish a card on the field, but that's pretty much it. And he has a high attack. I would never recommend to run this card. You don't want to have this guy in your hand and do nothing with it. But he's a strong card, 3000 attack, 29 defense. You can banish a card on the field as well. So if you guys are interested in this deck, you can go ahead and copy it right here. It's not that powerful. The extra deck needs some work. I guess this guy is one of the new players. But let's begin. And I believe I go first on this one. Oh no, I start second. So my opponent starts first, and I drew a Gamma, Maximus, Lubellion, Slayer, and Punishment. This is a really good hand here. So my opponent ashes the Gamma. You can see that this guy is a new player. Never ash Gamma, because even though if you ash Gamma on that turn, in your turn, your opponent can still use Gamma to negate another monster's effect. Never ever ash Gamma, guys, never. So he goes with, I believe, Baron here. Oh no. So he goes for the Sovereign. The Sovereign Long John. So it's my turn, and he activates the the Maxis. He completely forgot I have Gamma in my hand. I negate it, and he banishes the Gamma. Another mistake here. You can see he's a new player. He doesn't know how the ciphering package works, and he should have banished Driver instead. So let's continue here. So I activate Slayer to send Hot Red, so I can get rid of his the Sovereign. So I go for Surinel, banish that Red Hot, and he gives up here. Alright guys, now let's move on into the most interesting duels that I have with this deck. In the future I'm gonna show you more gameplays, because I want you to see how I want to show you how to summon properly the Albazoa. I mean, you can go always watch YouTube videos on other people's running them, running Dogmatikas, and see how Albazoa is summoned. But let's continue here, and I'm playing here against a really cool and interesting Labyrinth deck, and he has all copy of the Workums. He's running 3 big Workum as well, and he looks pretty fast too. He does some combos during the gameplay. You can see here. So if you guys are interested in this deck, it looks decent and powerful. Go ahead and copy it. Lovely Labyrinth. He's only running 1 copy. And the big boss of the deck, the Silver Castle, the Lady of the Labyrinth. Let's begin with the gameplay, and I'll save the best one for last. So I believe I begin first on this one. Oh no. Actually, I began first. Second. So my opponent is gonna start first.
and I drew the, Fusion Destiny, the Lobelian, DogMatika Celsia, one Maxis, and Lockbird. So I will search for the Cyrano, target his, I believe it's the stove. I banish the stove. My opponent will use the welcome. I should have max C there. I made a small mistake, but then I activate max C on the big welcome. So my opponent uses big welcome to special summon the lovely labyrinth. He activates the lady labyrinth, special summon her, and I start drawing cards. He activates the Challenger's effect to be added to the hand. With Cyrano sent to the graveyard, I was able to send Regain to the graveyard. So my opponent says the DogMatika Punisher on the field. I activate the Meltdown to add the Invoker Alistair. With Alistair's effect, I was able to add the Invocation. I link into Amorage. Then I link again into the Garna. And now I'm ready to Fusion Summon for Invocation. And I Fusion for Invoke Makava. I'll add Alistair back to my hand. I activate Fusion Destiny to Fusion Summon Destiny Hero Enforcer. I'll use the effect of Malicious to blow up his Lady of the Castle, and I made a small mistake here. I targeted the Lady Labyrinth, and I forgot that she has an immunity on being destroyed by having set cards on the field. I should have gone for the lovely Lady of the Silver Castle instead. Alright, so I go for the attack with Makava. I blow the Lady Labyrinth. So I have 3 powerful monsters on the field. My opponent uses the punishment, but I interrupted that play because I don't want my opponent to send an extra monster from the extra deck. So I have DogMatika, Celsia. I go for Denier. Recycle back the Malicious from the Banishing Zone. I banish the second one in the graveyard, and then I go with Chaos Angel, one of the boss monsters from the extra deck, and my opponent gives up. Alright guys, so let's move on into the final duel, and this is the longest and the most interesting one, because I was going against a really powerful Paleozoic deck. So this deck is fully customized with trap cards, as you can see here, and I had an awesome duel playing against this deck. So this guy is running 60 cards, as you can see here, and he's running the Laundry Dragon Maid. So when she's sent to the graveyard, you can dump 3 cards from your deck into the graveyard. So he started doing this a lot, and you'll see that the gameplay is insane. So before we start the gameplay, guys, if you want to copy the deck, go ahead. It's a pretty awesome deck. I was actually thinking of making my own version as well, because wow, this deck is awesome. It's really interesting. And if you guys recognize these cards, go ahead and copy it. Make your own version or the same version, as you can see here. If you guys recognize the cards, go ahead and do it. Let's begin with the play, and you're gonna see how cool this duel is. We were going back and forth. It was really awesome. Okay, so I start first on this one, and I believe I start with Lubelian. So I activated the branded regain. With Lubelian, I added the Cyrano. I banished Lubelian so I can add another card back into my hand. And I happen to draw Alistair. My opponent activates the Traptalizing spell. I negate it. Well, I stop him from searching with Joe and Lackberg. He starts dumping cards to the graveyard like crazy, as you can see here. Okay, so I activate Punisher. He activates the Paleozoic. So the Paleozoics have the ability of being special summoned from the graveyard whenever your opponent activates a trap card, or whenever you activate a trap card. So it goes both ways. They can be special summoned from the graveyard. So with the ability of transaction rollback, he goes into the what's the trap card? Needle Nest. So he can keep dumping more cards into the graveyard. So he goes with Paleozoic Lencholia. With Lencholia, he adds back the transaction rollback to the graveyard to keep dumping more cards to the graveyard, as you can see here. I activate Lubelian so I can set up the trap card, and he negates it with the Loss of the Wild. I haven't seen that trap card in a while. I special summon Juice Worm. I go for Alistair. So now what I want to do is go for Chaos Angel, and my opponent activates Destructive Durama Karma Cannon. He flips all my monsters back into defense face down. I add the Cyrano with I believe with the effect of Magnahon. And my opponent keeps dumping cards into the graveyard using Reasoning. He special summons a Dragon Maid. He start dumping more cards into the graveyard. And then he goes with Sprite Elf. He special summons back the Dragon Maid to go for the Ninja Shadow. The number 2 Ninja Shadow. So he can go with the Magician. And eventually Seals. So he ends here the turn and passes. So I have 5 monsters on the field and a bunch of cards in my hand. And I happen to draw Slayer. So I can get rid of his elf. Then I'm able to flip back my monsters into attack position. So he activates Trap Tricks. And with the help of Trap Tricks, he summons the Canadia. And with that he sets the trap card that bounces all monsters on the field back into their respective deck. Then I go with Chaos Angel. He sets the Lost Wild, the Lost Wind. I banish his Absolute King. He activates Fairy Flame. So at this point he uses the Zeus. But Chaos Angel is not affected. So he completely gets rid of the field except for a couple of cards, and he sends back my Cast Angel with the trap card. Then I was able to fusion summon for invocation the Invoke Mekava. Now I'm gonna start killing him here because I have a bunch of cards in my hand. I go Zeronel and summon back Lubellion. Zeronel will dump a second Lubellion just in case. Then I go with the fusion of Destroyer, and before I defeated him, he quits. Alright guys, so this is the DogMatika deck profile, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoy how I play DogMatikas. And like I said, I wasn't able to special summon the final form of Maximus Albazoa, but eventually in other gameplays, I'm gonna start streaming soon, and I'm gonna be doing live duels. So maybe in one of those live duels I will be able to special summon the Albazoa. Anyways guys, this is the DogMatika deck profile that I worked for a couple of months, and I believe I perfected it. Maybe you guys can correct me in the comment section. Out of 5 duels, I lost 2 times with this deck, and eventually when I start streaming, we're gonna see how good this deck is. I've been playing a lot with it though, and I've been winning a lot of duels. I've been winning more duels than losing. And if you guys already have all these cards, make this combination and you let me know if we can make this deck even stronger. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.